Back to the World Series on day 3 and a matchup of two titans of the sport, the 4th-seeded Florida Gators and the top-seeded Texas Longhorns here in the winners bracket. The two leaders in RBIs in the nation, Reese Atwood, a National Player of the Year finalist, catcher for the Longhorns, and Jocelyn Erickson, the SEC Player of the Year, catcher for the Gators. Both smashing records left and right in the middle of record-setting lineups. The nation's deepest conference, the SEC tournament champions at 52-13, and a new pitcher for Texas today. It'll be Mac Morgan, the junior, their most experienced hurler. Morgan in her 3rd year in Division I, her 2nd at Texas, will make her World Series debut. And she'll start with Kendra Falby, who slaps one into the ground at 6:07 local time. It is the hottest day we've had at the World Series so far. Not overwhelmingly warm like we're used to in Oklahoma City in the past, but 85 and sunny. Enough to use your programs as fans for the Gators and the Longhorns. Falby swings through a drop ball, and there will be a whole lot of those from Mac Morgan today.
And they saw a whole lot in their first game, too, against Oklahoma State with Lexi Kilfoyle in the circle. 80% of the time she went to that drop ball.
Kendra Falby, a first-team All-SEC selection for Florida. Led the league in hits. She's 5th in the nation in hits, but only 3 for 24 with a walk here in the NCAA tournament. Gators 6-1 in the tournament.
Ball, that's out.
They swept the Gainesville Regional. Went 2-1. Lost game 2, but rebounded to take down Baylor in the Gainesville Super Regional. And here they are back at the World Series after missing out last year. Tim Walton in his 19th year, head coach. Falby, little flare toward the shortstop. Vivi Martinez has the catch.
What you mentioned, that drop ball for Mac Morgan, that's a pitch that she's going to throw 91% of the time. No pitcher in Division I throws a single pitch more than Mac Morgan throwing her drop ball. Ground ball outs is what it creates, and she throws with good velocity, 69 to 71 miles an hour. But when you think of Mac Morgan, she has that bulldog competitive mentality that she brings in the big games for Texas and a younger pitching staff.
Strike.
With a couple of sophomore and freshman starters that see the bulk of the load with her, with Sitlali Gutierrez and Tegan Cavan.
Strike 1 to Corby Otis as deemed by Jim Bertuzzi. One of 4 consecutive All-Americans now in the Gator lineup. Otis leads the nation in on base percentage at .581. The rest of the umpires today: Aaron Peterson at first, John Baca at second, Megan Rabin at third.
Ball, that's in.
I think it's always interesting to see, Kevin, and try to guess as we come into the game of who's going to start for Texas, because they have so many different looks. They have 3 different starters that they've relied on, plus Estelle Check in relief and Sophia Simpson as well, a deep staff.
Strike.
I thought, if you're wondering who I thought was going to start, I thought it was going to be Tegan Cavan, the hot hand, with the way that she threw a couple nights ago. And also the fact that Florida just saw a drop ball pitcher in Kilfoyle, Cavan more with a rise ball look.
That's what she did against Stanford. And that's what Morgan does against Otis. Only the 17th time in 66 games Corby Otis has struck out.
It's a really well-located pitch. Look at how this pitch moves down and away from Corby Otis. I mean, that is a perfect spot for Mac Morgan to start out this game. Kind of like a drop curve that slides away from Corby Otis. Big swing there by Otis, too.
Strike.
Peppering the outside edge there to Skylar Wallace. The senior Wallace playing maybe the best softball of her life at the end of a highly decorated career. And that one's well framed by Reese Atwood near the bottom of the zone. Wallace, the Gators career leader in all 3 slash line categories and in stolen bases. She scored the most runs in Division I history, and she is playing with fire after a couple of close pitches were called strikes. Mac Morgan, not a big strikeout pitcher at all. 39 on the year in 99 and a third innings. She is a ground ball machine. Nearly had another strikeout in this first.
Ball.
Gators went down 1-2-3 in the first inning on Thursday. Falby, Otis, and Wallace. Only happened a handful of times this year. Those three have been retired in the first inning. And they will be retired here. 2 strikeouts for Mac Morgan. So much for not being a strikeout pitcher.
Mac Morgan is humming these pitches down in the zone. Look at that movement and the location to start out this game. She is absolutely painting these corners.
The Texas Longhorns starting lineup is brought to you by Capital One. Texas opened its World Series with a 4-0 win over Stanford. Reese Atwood had a walk in that game, but she has done a lot of walking and a lot of hitting since April 26, just over a month. 8 home runs, 24 RBIs in that span for Atwood. The Longhorns, the most runs in Texas history, 92 more than the next best team. It'll be a tough task for Keegan Rothrock, but facing Keegan Rothrock is also a tough task.
She's had so many big games in her freshman year. They've leaned on her a lot. Going to go to her rise ball a lot, and when she pitched against Oklahoma State in the presser, she said she liked the way that she spotted her pitches all on different levels, up at the eyes, midway, and then also right at the knees. This is the overall pitch locations of how she threw Oklahoma State. She worked them a lot hard into their right-handed hitters, jammed them, could not get their hands extended. She was a rise ball 41% of the time. That is her best pitch. Opponent just hitting 160 off of that rise ball that she can locate at different levels.
Nobody has thrown more pitches in the nation this year than Keegan Rothrock, whose first of this game is low to Bella Dayton, and the next one is a strike to the birthday girl, Bella Dayton. Back at the World Series after being a big part of the Texas team to make it to the Champ Series in 2022.
Outside.
Down and away on the 3,931st pitch Keegan Rothrock's thrown this year, and they're ready for the Bella B-Day in the stands. Postseason Bella, she told us, I don't know why people call me that. Well, just look at her numbers. They are tremendous in the postseason year in and year out. Dayton puts one in the air to left. Chasing Otis back. It's off the base of the wall. And Dayton will hold with a long single. The birthday girl finds the fence on the first at-bat for Texas.
The side that Rothrock likes to stay on is into righties and away from lefties. And Bella Dayton goes up looking for that pitch, lets it get deep, and is able to barrel it up. I mean, that ball just continued to travel in the air. It was so hard hit. And postseason Bella strikes again as Coach White moved her to that leadoff spot, and she's been a spark.
Now 10 for 21 with a walk, 6 RBIs here in this NCAA tournament. Ball 1 to Mia Scott. First team all Big 12 pick, back-to-back years. Scott lays down a bunt. It's a good one, but Scott will be thrown out by the third baseman Ariel Kowalewski. So a sacrifice bunt moves Dayton up to second.
You can see how much spin that Keegan Rothrock puts on her pitches. When that ball came off of the bat, it was in the air for a second before it hit the ground and then took off like a right turn. Keegan Rothrock throws with really good velocity, but she can also vary her speeds and vary her spin. She'll vary her speeds between 58 and bring it up to 71 miles an hour, but it is her spin rate that makes her so deceptive and tough to hit.
Viviana Martinez with a check swing, strike 1. Martinez has led the Longhorns in the postseason with an .880 slugging percentage. She's hitting a team best .520. 5 extra base hits, 2 walks, 13 out of 25. And Martinez pulls the ground ball through the right side. Dayton is pointed home by Mike White, and she scores the first Texas run. An RBI single for Viviana Martinez, who takes second on the throw, and the Longhorns strike fast.
That's exactly how Texas was able to score against Stanford, just trying to get the top half of the ball against a rise ball pitcher. Vivi Martinez with good hands. Bella Dayton with the speed, easily going to be able to score from second. But it was a small ball, the sacrifice bunt by Mia Scott, that got her into scoring position. When this Texas offense is rolling, they're executing, they're using the ground, and they are being clutch with the runner in scoring position. They can beat you in so many different ways.
Martinez, a .435 hitter with runners in scoring position with her 52nd RBI, and now Reese Atwood. After a meeting in a circle for Keegan Rothrock in her Florida infield. Down and in to Atwood. The only hitter of the three National Player of the Year finalists. She leads Division I with those 90 RBIs. She's just 2 shy of the single-season Big 12 record,
Strike,
which was set by Tiare Jennings 3 years ago. Those 90 RBIs are tied for 13th in Division I history, and you better believe Reese Atwood is great with runners in scoring position with all the RBIs she's picked up.
Coach White said about Reese Atwood, I've never coached a kid with this type of season.
Smoked foul, 2-2.
And that was his daughter, Nairi White, holding that, I think it's a towel, with the cartoon Mike White with the sunglasses, taking Austin by storm. There's Nairi.
Two-sided towel. There's the man in charge. And Atwood's drilled. That's become a recurring theme in this postseason. Reese Atwood has 7 hits and has been hit by 6 pitches. And here comes Tim Walton.
Now this pitch just missing its mark by a lot. You have to be so careful with her on the inner half that pitchers work to throw off the plate, and it sometimes bleeds in and hits her. It's a full team meeting. Whole outfield is even in the circle right now.
Yeah, he was not talking to Keegan right there, staring down somebody else, Tim Walton. He came out of the dugout and immediately raised his right hand to pull in the outfield. And the Gators are huddled right behind the rubber, just 13 pitches and 4 batters into the game. Well, Keegan Rothrock, off a 2-hit shutout of Oklahoma State Thursday, has already allowed more damage in the span of 13 pitches 2 days later. 2 on, 1 out for Katie Stewart. Terrific freshman with immense power. And Stewart gets a hold of one to left center. Kendra Fulby can't get to it. It's off the wall to bring in a run. Atwood stops at third, and Katie Stewart has the big hit she's been waiting for. 2-0 Texas on an RBI double.
It's a great part about having the freshman Katie Stewart hit behind Reese Atwood, because she is a type of hitter that can make you pay for pitching around Reese Atwood. Just out of the reach of Kendra Fulby, who can cover so much ground. Timed her jump perfectly, but she's just not quite tall enough or long enough to grab it. But Katie Stewart makes that hit by pitch come around.
And Tim Walton is going to come out again. And it looks like Keegan Rothrock is going to give up the ball after 14 pitches, and that's Ava Brown, the Gator first baseman, who is their other pitcher. So Rothrock, who has started every game of this postseason, will be lifted after 1 first inning out, and Ava Brown will take over from first base. We saw this happen in the first inning, game 2 of the Super Regionals against Baylor. And Ava Brown is thrust into the spotlight here with 2 runs already across for Texas and only 1 out. We'll be back to OKC. 3rd of an inning tonight. And Ava Brown is into the game. Coming in from first base, a freshman from Montgomery, Texas, will try to rescue this against one of her hometown teams.
Ava Brown will try to have her teammates back here. She induces a lot of fly ball outs because of her screwball and rise ball that she'll throw. She'll mix in 3 different speeds, but screwball, curveball, and will also mix in a changeup. More of a side-to-side type pitcher, and mix in that changeup about 20% of the time.
Adea Wallace is at 3rd. Katie Stewart at 2nd.
Strike.
Wallace a pinch runner for Atwood. And the batter is the Texas captain, Alyssa Washington. Avery Gels comes in to play first base with Brown moving into the circle. Washington smokes it foul. Senior from Abilene who grew up wanting to be a Longhorn, getting to live out her dream on the World Series stage. Has not struck out in her last 39 at-bats. Trying to dig out from 0-2 here, and she'll take one in the dirt. Well, Ava Brown did pitch well in a similar situation to this in the Super Regionals. Game 2 against Baylor. Rothrock didn't get out in the first inning, gave up 3 runs. Brown came in with the rest of the way, 6 innings, 2 runs.
Ball.
And it's a quick hook for Tim Walton, but if Florida loses this game, Florida has to play tomorrow afternoon. So there's today, and then there's the possibility tomorrow, both in mind, as the Gators try to get back to the Champ Series. Washington high in the air to center field. Alyssa Washington leaves the yard with a 3-run jack. The captain comes through, and Texas has 5 in the first.
Alyssa Washington said that she has been playing more free since being named captain, and this is a free swing on a mistake. Look at that pitch location right down the heart of the plate. You can't put that there against this Texas offense, who is just unleashing power in this inning. Alyssa Washington, the senior, the captain, putting it right out there for a fan to catch. Just beyond center field. Man, this Texas offense is showing up big.
The 10th home run of the season for Alyssa Washington, an absolute no-doubter. And the Longhorns hit the 90 home run mark for the first time. Ground ball to second from Jolie Mitchell. Mia Williams makes the play. And there are 2 down.
Well, and against an offense like Florida has, every run is so important because down by 5, but this is a Florida offense that can score quickly as well. So you look in both dugouts, in first base and third base, and you have 2 of the best offenses in the country going at it that can score runs quickly.
Caden Henry, 8th batter of the inning. Henry over to first. The new first baseman Gels is there. Oh, what a statement. The first few punches thrown by the Texas Longhorns. 5-run first inning. They are showing that Texas fight. The top seed for the first time comes out swinging against the Gators. And the Longhorns offense, Texas is well on its way after an inning. Jack Morgan, a 1-2-3 first inning. She left in a 0-0 game. She returns in a 5-0 one. And she'll face the SEC Player of the Year, Jocelyn Erickson. Back-to-back years, Florida's had the SEC Player of the Year with Skylar Wallace. And now with Erickson, an All-American. Reagan Walsh, an All-American to follow her. And it is an extremely strong Florida lineup, particularly 1 through 5 or 1 through 6 with Kistler last night. Gators average nearly 8 runs a game. And they're going to have to get at least 6 tonight.
Strike.
Mac Morgan pitching for a Texas team that is 7th in the nation, 1.92 ERA. Typically these days, to win a national championship, you need multiple pitchers. There are plenty of moments throughout the 80s, 90s, even into the 2000s, where you had really one arm go the whole way. In recent years, the one arm thing has really gone out of vogue. More of a fuller staff approach with 2 or 3. And Texas feels like it has 3 very capable starters. We saw Tegan Cavan yesterday. We see Mac Morgan today, and their best ERA on the staff belongs to Setlali Gutierrez, yet to make her World Series debut. Erickson pelts one to right. That's caught. Yes, it was. Aston Maloney hangs onto it right on top of the green grass.
The best part about having this 5-run lead is that you get to play free in all aspects of the game. That ball was crushed and it was diving down, but Ashton Maloney had a great read and is able to leave her feet for it despite diving toward the line, because you have that 5-run lead. You can play free in every aspect of the game.
How about 80 miles per hour? That was absolutely destroyed. Ball. You get up into the 70s, a pretty hard hit ball. 80 is an absolute rocket. And Maloney adds to the litany of outfield web gems we've seen all weekend. Reagan Walsh with a bouncing ball to short, and that short hop eats up Viviana Martinez. Florida has its first base runner.
Bit of a chopper here that Vivi Martinez wants to come in on, and there's a little bit of a hesitation where she thought, am I going to try to get this long hop or am I going to go try to get the short hop? Ate her up a bit.
Scored an E6.
Ball.
1 on, 1 out for Thursday night's home run hero, Katie Kistler. Florida native Katie Kistler.
Outside.
Who's knocked in 45 runs on the year. OPS of 935.
Ball.
Big moment for her. The home run that broke a scoreless tie in the 5th off of Lexi Kilfoyle on Thursday. She said after the game, I kind of blacked out running the bases.
Strike.
Tim Walton said, I'm glad she said that she blacked out, because it looked like she blacked out. He's so proud of her. Said if there's anybody that our team would run through a wall for, it is Katie Kistler.
I mean, and her smile just lit up the entire stadium. This is Thursday off of Kilfoyle after a great at-bat. This is a full count, a 2-strike home run. It was a scoreless game. That was the only run that was put on the board, was off of Kistler's bat. Look at that celebration.
Remember, the Florida staff is after Katie fouls a ball off her foot. Last season versus this season, huge jump for Kistler, who was known as a great defensive outfielder, good base runner, and has added some pop to her game. Walsh at first, and Kistler did go around. Megan Rabin, the third base umpire, says it's a swing, and the 3rd strikeout for Mac Morgan.
Kistler helping out Mac Morgan here, chasing this pitch. It's a great call. Check swing, but breaks the plane of the plate. Gets her a little bit out in front of that pitch and chasing out of the zone.
Freshman Ariel Kowalewski.
Ball.
Gators are now 0 for 6 with runners on here in the World Series. Another Texas native in the lineup, Kowalewski.
Strike.
3 straight freshmen fill out the bottom of the order for Florida. Kowalewski's had a wonderful year.
Strike.
And she falls behind 1 and 2 against Mac Morgan.
Right behind.
Mac Morgan is just popping the glove with Reese Atwood, throwing with such good velocity. She has looked so determined since the first pitch that she has thrown. Some pitchers, sometimes take a little while to get into the game, maybe show some nerves in that first inning, but not Mac Morgan.
Ball out.
She's thrown more innings than any Texas pitcher in the NCAA tournament. Mike White said he didn't necessarily expect that to be the case, but she was the steadiest Texas pitcher in the Super Regional. Kowalewski chases, stays alive on 2-2.
I feel like her ball is just really moving too. A lot of late break on these pitches. It's making it tough for Florida to identify if it's going to stay up or have that late break down that it's doing.
Another strikeout for Mac Morgan. She has been a K machine today. She's got 4 and some help from Maloney in right field.
Texas is clicking at every aspect. At the box, out in the field, in the circle. Ashton Maloney helping out Mac Morgan, making an even bigger statement to the Gators.
Among many other accolades. We'll see if she can help lift some life into this Florida team here.
It's been a great addition for the Gators, Alyssa. And Tim Alton said, look, sometimes transfers are better to get than freshmen because they know what they want. Jocelyn Erickson wanted to catch, and it's a good thing for the Gators she is. How about that number? 15.6 defensive runs saved, leads Division I. That factors in every aspect of fielding, throwing out base stealers. She's thrown out 13 out of 20. She's only committed 1 pass ball, and she is an elite pitch framer. You get it close, and Erickson will get it into the strike zone, or at least enough to fool the umpire. Working with Ava Brown here to Ashton Maloney, who hits a ground ball to second.
And Coach Walton said, too, she may actually be the best first baseman in the country. But, of course, she wanted to catch. She is extremely good back there, too, with the way that she receives, the way that she throws out base stealers against her. And she's just so competitive, forms great relationships with the pitchers on staff, and has slid right in back behind the plate in the cleanup spot for this Gator team.
Foul ball.
She'll field this bunt, but it's foul from Bella Dayton. Erickson, only a sophomore, has had to be the veteran of sorts with the 2 freshmen, Rothrock and Brown, who have started all but 3 of the Gators' 66 games.
Strike.
Catching running in the family, too, or 2 older sisters catchers.
Two strikes on Dayton. Led off the 5-run first with a base hit, and sends a fly ball here out to center, and it's going to hang up for Falby. 2 up, 2 down for Brown in the second.
It always feels good as a pitcher, as Ava Brown entered in relief, just to get to start a fresh inning. She kind of came in the middle of an inning where there was just a lot going on, a lot of pressure, a lot of scoring in that first inning. Get to start an inning fresh just feels really good as a pitcher.
Got the first 2 now. Mia Scott. He had a sacrifice bunt to set up Vivi Martinez's RBI single. And the floodgates open. Scott goes the other way, and Otis is there. It's a 1-2-3 inning for Brown, and she'll lead off for the Gators in the 3rd. 5-run first inning after 4 runs Thursday night against Stanford.
That's
Mac Morgan's been terrific. 2 strikeouts in each of the first 2 innings. She's already just 1 strikeout away from a season high. She's only struck out 38, 28 games, 15 starts.
Strike.
And there's a strike to Ava Brown. Velocity's been good. Location's been pristine at the bottom of the zone. Brown now the pitcher after Keegan Rothrock only got 1 out in the first.
Strike.
Ava Brown, Mia Williams, Kendra Falby. Florida's 8-9-1 here in the 3rd inning.
Strike 3.
Brown takes strike 3. Mac Morgan has tied a season high in strikeouts through 7 total outs.
Well, Ava Brown, the first strike of this at bat was a mistake right over the heart of the plate, and Mac Morgan said, thanks for not swinging at that. I'm going to go ahead and paint a few corners, 1 out, 1 in, and getting that call on the inner half with her catcher, Reese Atwood.
All 3 strikes looking. Mac Morgan struck out 5 the first game of her season when she threw a 5-inning no-hitter against the San Diego Toreros. And she has struck out 5 Gators out of the first 7 outs. Dribbler to third. Nice short hop pick. And Scott erases Williams.
Mia Scott, and Kevin, you've heard me say this a lot, is one of the most underrated players in the country, and she has been since she was a freshman. With her athleticism, you can put her at any defensive spot. She will shine. Great reacts, great throw on the run, good hands here. I mean, what a play.
Very easily could have been an All-American. She's hitting .411. Her OPS is 1187. Mia Scott may have been the first player in the also receiving votes category, the All-Americans. Amazing she did not make it. Mostly third, has played some outfield this year, so part of it is where you submit her in the All-American categories. But look, back-to-back all Big 12, #2 hitter for the top seed in the country, All-American or not. She is one of the best all-around players in the country. 2 strikes on Kendra Falby. Bouncing ball to Martinez. Mac Morgan just absolutely in cruise control. Would need to win just 1 on Monday, and their opponent would have to win 2 to make it to the championship series.
Ball, it's in.
3-4-5 for Texas against the freshman Ava Brown. Longhorns scored 5 runs in the first. Viviana Martinez drove in the first of those and scored the second. Martinez has really emerged in the postseason. Sophomore from Tolleson, Arizona. Everything about her game is smooth. That's the word that comes up a lot.
Ball.
Mike White told us we can crank up the batting practice machine to darn near 90 miles per hour, and Vivi will be on time with it. Dropped her down the lineup early.
Ball,
second guessing herself a little bit, but she's been seeing the ball so well for so long now, and she is on with a walk to bring Reese Atwood to the plate.
Now batting catcher number 14, Reese Atwood.
Atwood's been a pitch magnet, hit by 6 here in the NCAA tournament. The first Texas Big 12 Player of the Year since Taylor Thom a decade ago. 5th in the nation in home runs, 1st in RBIs.
Outside.
Texas record for total bases to go along with the home runs and RBI numbers. She leads the team in hits, so it's not just all swinging for the fences. This ground ball out of the glove of Brown, who does recover and have time to get Atwood.
And Ava Brown, just such a good athlete. Remember, she plays first base too. Just didn't rush once the ball was hit back at her and popped out of her glove. Just took her time. knew that she had the time to make that throw. Oftentimes you'll see pitchers get ahead of themselves and rush, but Ava Brown's such a good athlete.
National Player of the Year in high school or last season.
Ball.
1-0 for Katie Stewart, who doubled to the wall in the first inning.
Ball, that's in.
In fact, the last two National Players of the Year in high school are the Florida pitchers, Rothrock and Brown. Part of a loaded recruiting class for Tim Walton, who needed to replace his whole pitching staff.
Ball.
In an ideal world, he said he would have liked to get one more transfer, but it was a little tricky getting pitchers in, knowing that both Rothrock and Brown were coming to Gainesville. And they've combined to throw over 360 innings this year. Couple of 4-pitch walks. Stewart is on after Martinez. 2 on, 1 out. Now the Women's College World Series finals begin on Wednesday. These teams trying to get there. For more information, go to NCAA.com. Your home for all 90 NCAA championships. There's the Fan Fest outside the stadium. Part of the goings on here at Devon Park in Oklahoma City.
Strike.
Terrific spot for families. The Fan Fest going on right outside the stadium parking lot. Stadium around 13,000 seats, and it has been packed to the gills the first 3 days.
Outside.
1-1 for Alyssa Washington, who already has one 3-run home run tonight. Washington off the end of her bat. Kistler cleans it up.
When Ava Brown's throwing strikes, she's getting outs. A couple of walks in this inning, but since she's come in, had that 3-up, 3-down inning in the bottom of the second and getting a couple outs here.
Now batting the Longhorns, number 9, Joey Mitchell.
2 on, 2 out for the designated player, Jolie Mitchell.
Inside. Ball.
A lot of base runners early for Texas. They've been efficient. 3 for 4 runners in scoring position. 3rd and 6th innings against Stanford, they were really good at cashing in runners as well. 2 in the 3rd, 2 in the 6th Thursday night against the National Player of the Year, Nigeri Kennedy. Longhorns had 4 hits with runners in scoring position Thursday, so already 7 in just 9 innings at the World Series.
Just such good at bats too, continually putting so much pressure on any pitcher that they're facing. They're prepared.
Texas as a team this year, 200 strikeouts, 236 walks. And they hit for a lot of power. 3-2. That's high and away. Brown lost control of a changeup, and she has walked every other batter in the inning.
And earlier in the season, we talked to Coach Walton about Ava Brown and at times the trouble that she'll get into with her walks. And he said that he tells her when the going gets tough, you have to locate your pitches better. Don't worry about velocity. Don't worry about giving up a home run. Locate better and have better results and change speeds to those locations. That's his advice to her. And he actually said, too, I don't really care about the walks. Walk in a double play, fine. Walk in a home run, no. That's when you get into some trouble. Has a chance, actually, to get out of it here despite loading the bases with everybody who's on base, reaching via a walk.
So those bases are full for Caden Henry, the freshman from Dickinson.
Strike.
And this is a player that, Caden Henry, who just has such a good balance of both power and speed. Not very big in terms of her stature, but so much power with her bat speed that she creates and being more of a fast twitch player.
Strike.
Wasn't sure about that call. 0-2. Henry had a 9-home run career in high school. She's hit 9 this season.
Outside.
And she also is the Big 12 leader with 26 steals. Can really set this game ablaze with a hit. Bases full, 2 down, 5-0 Texas. Stays alive.
Coach White told us that he was throwing BP in the fall, and the first pitch that he threw to Caden Henry was a rise ball, and she hit it out. Now remember, Mike White, one of the best pitchers to ever play the game.
Henry waits back and pounds one out of play. He believes that she can follow in the mold, these are Mike White's words, of a Janae Jefferson or Mia Scott. All-Americans, all-conference stars, some of the best to ever play at Texas. He thinks Caden Henry has that kind of potential. Henry down the line and left, that will get into the stands, and we'll do it again on 1-2.
Well, and she was a sprinter in high school as well. So when you think about how hard and how far she can hit it, and then also, I mean, she's not going to do it now, but lay down a bunt a few feet out in front of home plate and be able to beat it out. She is just such a good athlete.
7th pitch from Brown. We'll wait. Caden Henry had a 2-run single with the bases loaded on Thursday night.
Strike 3.
And she will take strike 3 called here. Brown escapes, leaving the bases loaded after 3 walks.
Okay, Ava Brown telling the fans, hey, let's go. I just struck out someone with the bases loaded to get out of this. Look at the help from Jocelyn Erickson to frame up that pitch. One of the best framers and catchers in the game helped out a freshman pitcher.
Support Alyssa Washington with the Longhorns' 90th home run. Morgan's career high strikeouts at Texas is 6. 9 is her career high overall. 5 out of the first 8 batters were strikeout victims, including Corby Otis and including the next hitter, Skylar Wallace. Otis lays down a bunt. Morgan out of the circle, and she got her as Washington just held the bag at first.
I mean, Corby Otis has great speed. Florida has great team speed. So Mac Morgan knew she had to get rid of this. And watch, as soon as she fields it, she plants her foot in the ground. Her right foot does not move. She doesn't shuffle. She doesn't come up. She knows that as soon as she gets it, she has to let go of it. And Alyssa Washington trying to keep her foot on the bag. I think the umpires may be talking about that as Tim Walton talked to the home plate umpire. Maybe for them to get together and take another look or talk to each other about what happened at first base.
Certainly looked like Washington held the bag. Can't hurt to ask.
Florida's going to challenge the play at first base. This play is under further review.
All right. It shouldn't take long.
Really athletic play by Alyssa Washington, as she is, you know how hard that is. You're running over from second base to cover first and get your foot on the bag, but the ball takes you more back toward where you started. Stretches her body horizontally. She's able to hold on to it, keep her foot on the bag. This, as you said, should stand.
The call at first base is going to be upheld. That is Florida's first challenge.
So 1-4 on the bunt ground out. And Matt Morgan still merrily rolling along. 3 1/3. No one has reached base safely. Only Walsh reached on an error.
Now batting number 17, Skylar Wallace.
Skylar Wallace batting.
Ball, that's low.
Wallace struck out in the first inning, as did Otis. Only the 17th time each of those two have struck out, and the first time Otis and Wallace, who hit back to back, struck out in the same inning at all this year. Wallace will not strike out here. She'll strike it right into the glove of Mia Scott. Look what I found.
This is 78 miles an hour off the bat. This is exactly why they call it the hot corner. Look at how quickly that gets on Mia Scott. Almost a little bit of just self-defense here, putting her glove up as that ball is trying to head over her head. And I mean, the defensive positioning that we've seen Mia Scott have, she likes to play a little bit more off of the line, and that was in the perfect spot for her to be able to catch that line drive at 78 miles an hour.
So Florida's hit balls tonight at 78 and 80, and they've both been outs. Really only 2 well hit balls of the game for the Gators. They just don't have the luck. Erickson hit the other one hard. She lined out to a diving Maloney in right, and she's ahead 2-0 here.
Ball.
And Mia Scott, we've seen this in the Super Regional and here at the World Series. Now she's going to be more in the middle of the field because she's not going to be in her defensive position because of the timeout. But she likes to play more off the line. You see where she starts, about 10 feet off the line, and was hit just exactly right to her. That has helped her out so many times. We've seen her make, I want to say, 5 to 6 plays because of where she positions herself, right there more toward the 5-6 hole. And a little bit in front of the bag because of the speed that Skylar Wallace has. Man, that got on her quick.
Not sure if she caught the ball so much as the ball caught her. 3-0 after a visit to the circle.
Strike.
And Morgan pumps in a strike.
And there have been some pitches. I know that's a 3-0 count, just probably taking all the way there. Erickson was, but there have been, I'm going to say, 2 to 3 pitches that Mac Morgan has put over the heart of the plate that Florida has taken.
Ball.
Erickson takes this one nowhere near the heart. Gators have their first player to reach base safely. Erickson, the SEC Player of the Year with a walk.
Now batting for the Gators, number 15.
So here's the All-American Reagan Walsh.
Strike.
Florida's home run leader with 17. Trying to swing the Gators back into the game.
Strike.
Takes strike 2.
It's one that looks like it's more about a ball over the plate that would be a little bit more hittable than Mac Morgan, living on these edges and being so good at painting corners tonight.
A chopper to third. This is a lot easier for Mia Scott than the absolute rocket that ate her up earlier in the inning.
Texas continuing to play strong defense. That line drive right at Mia Scott. I mean, 78 miles an hour off the bat. She said, my heart just sank.
Walton, Coach, what have you said to your team throughout the course of this game to kind of calm them down?
Yeah, I think the biggest key is just getting us offensively adjusted, just trying to do a little bit better job finding the bottom of the ball. Just obviously, she's throwing really good break to her pitches. Got a couple kids that don't swing and miss a ton, and they're swinging and missing. So we just got to do a little bit better job getting her back knee dirty, get under the ball a little bit more. She's hitting her spots, really doing a good job of being able to, get us stretching the zone a little bit.
What'd you tell Keegan when you pulled her? What'd you tell Ava when you put her out there?
Yeah, nothing to Keegan. Just we needed need Ava to just keep us in there, give us a chance to get this offense going. I think at the end of the day, the pitching staff has really got us to this point this season, and we just need our offense to get going, be fun to watch, make this place get a little bit more alive for us. Just haven't done much offensively in 2 games.
Thanks, Coach. Good luck.
Go Gators.
Tim Walton's Florida Gators It's 2-6 in their previous 3 trips to the World Series. They have not made the semis since the 2017 Champ Series when they lost 2 to Oklahoma. Lose today, you face Alabama tomorrow afternoon. Win today and kick back and watch softball and enjoy a Sunday off in Oklahoma before playing Monday night. Winner of this game is 1 win away from the championship series. The loser is 3 wins away. Ashton Maloney,
Strike.
Texas's number 9 hitter, takes a strike from Ava Brown. Maloney, Dayton, Scott. Anybody gets on Martinez. 4 lefties in a row before Reese Atwood.
Strike.
Ashton Maloney, leadoff hitter much of the season for Texas. 22 games in the leadoff spot before Game 1 of this World Series. Texas had gone 20-2. Bella Dayton's been swinging a hotter bat. Season on the whole, though, Maloney 397, a 446 on base. She's given Texas lots of good at-bats, and she's a terrific 2-strike hitter. Slaps one down the line. That's a foul ball.
Oh, close. Man, we don't have the greatest angle, but it seemed like it was just right down the line. And
look at the foot too. The chalk has gotten a little bit wider as the day's gone on to see whether that's out of the box or not. That ball is definitely foul. How'd you like to pitch to slappers or batters with those really short swings?
sometimes they were just a little pesky and hard to get out, and sometimes you felt like you owned them. It just depended on they pulled out or not. I like to live on the outside corner with the screwball and drop ball, and oftentimes, especially 2 left-handed hitters, oftentimes they'll pull out from that outside pitch. So if they stay in, they're a little bit more pesky. If they pull out, head to first.
The pitch was more toward the inside part of the plate. Maloney kept it fair, but she grounds out to Williams for a second time. Bella Dayton to bat for a 3rd time. This song's starting to get stuck in my head, you know that?
Been around Texas a lot now the past couple of weekends, and that is her walk-up song.
She is hoping to gain Italian citizenship so she could play for Italy's national softball team, Bella Dayton. Isabella Dayton is the full name, the senior transfer from Arizona. Got another postseason base hit today. She did tell us, though, she's never actually been to Italy. She said that she believes it's her great-great-grandparents who are from southern Italy. The roster for the Italian team goes in a couple of weeks. Her cousin, Mac Barbara, who was at San Diego State, going to Texas A&M, plays for the Italian team. Left center field, that ball smoked, but Falvey's there on the run.
She just has this intensity about her that feels like it's just made for the postseason. Hit that ball hard, but when she gets in the box and when she plays defense, she is just so all in and locked in.
Two down, Mia Scott.
Strike.
Brown has really, for the time being at least, settled this game down. Texas does not have a hit since Alyssa Washington's 3-run home run, the first batter Brown faced. Scott trying to change that. Way back in center and gone. Mia Mia Scott sneaks it out of here for a solo shot. And the Longhorns make it 6-zip.
Mia Scott, I mean, we've seen her play defense over at the hot corner, and now she's just dropping bombs. Texas has looked so prepared at the plate. She's right on time, she's right on plane, and I mean, best of all for her, she puts this completely out of the reach of Kendra Falby, who can reach a ton. But Mia Scott showing off her power in the postseason.
9 of her 11 home runs have come since April 12th, and she's now homered in 6 of their last 11 games. And she was just not a huge power hitter last year. She's really turned into one. 11 home runs, third on the team behind only Atwood and Stewart. Two strikes on Vivi Martinez.
Ball.
It's a big run too. I mean, you were just talking about Ava Brown, and like you took the words right out of my mouth that Ava Brown has come into this game and settled things down for the most part to help give Florida some momentum and keep Texas off the board since she's come in and thrown her complete innings. But a 2-out home run for Mia Scott. You may have heard us talking about how well Ava Brown was doing.
Aren't you happy I said it first? People can be mad at me and not you for jinxing it.
That's true.
Yeah, you're spared the wrath of the internet. Right side base hit. Martinez has been on base all 3 times tonight.
And Vivi Martinez just has such good plate coverage. She has quick hands and can hit a lot of different parts of the zone. Steps across her body, though. You see her right foot step toward that pitch that's being thrown, and she pulls it toward the right side. Vivi Martinez having some kind of an NCAA tournament herself.
2 hits, a walk, an RBI, and a run. And that gives Reese Atwood a 4th inning opportunity.
Ball.
And Reese Atwood this year, Kevin, I mean, as a freshman, she had a great year. Hit some home runs, hit some RBI, hit just under 300. But the year that she has put together this year has been one that she studied herself and her year last year. And one of the things that even back in February that Coach White said that Reese Atwood wanted to work on was her cold zones. They went back and looked at all the different areas of the strike zone and paid closer attention to the areas that she hadn't hit as well, like that.
Wallace, great diving play at short. She keeps it on the infield, but has no play at any base. And Reese Atwood has a base hit, her first of the night. Mia Scott hits a home run, and it's time to find the Scott family for the home run ball.
First baseman number 28,
Beautiful tradition that lives on here in Oklahoma City.
Ball.
So Katie Stewart has a couple of runners on, and if she can drive both these runners in, Texas would go to the top of the 5th with a chance to win via run roll.
Inside.
Feels like this game just got started, and Texas is trying to wrap it up very quickly. We've already seen 2 run rolls in the tournament. Oklahoma over Duke Thursday, Stanford over Oklahoma State last night.
Ball.
3-0 for Stewart. Reese Atwood has 23 home runs, and yet Texas folks will tell you Katie Stewart has the most raw power in the program.
Strike.
You have to be really careful when you come on the inner half. That's why in this at bat, Ava Brown has thrown her inside, but it's been just a little bit off the plate. Got an outside strike there. If you go in, it has to be hard in and off the plate.
Good.
So where was that location compared to where you want it?
Pretty good there. You even heard it sounded like Jocelyn Erickson say good, knowing that if they go hard in, got to try to jam her up and in, not let her get her hands extended.
Stewart's doubled in a run and walked. A run in the inning for Texas. 3 straight 2-out hits. 3-2 for Katie Stewart. We'll wait.
And this happens a lot with Ava Brown. She takes a little bit longer in between pitches and always takes a little bit longer to get on the same page with the pitch call with Erickson.
Stewart, left center field. That ball is tattooed. Raw power on full display at the Women's College World Series. 9-0 Texas on a 3-run Stewart shot.
We said that in has to be hard in so that she cannot get her hands extended, and this is just not in enough. About a ball on the plate, it's up in the zone, and that is, she's just able to get on plane with it. On time, on plane, ropes it over the left center field fence. That is why you take a risk with throwing Katie Stewart inside, because she has that kind of power to now give Texas that 9-run lead.
The most runs scored in a World Series game for Texas in its 7th appearance at the World Series.
Ball.
And now the Longhorns have some cushion. They can give up a run in the 5th and still win via run rule, thanks to an absolute laser beam from the freshman Katie Stewart.
Ball.
And she struggled in the Super Regional. Texas A&M had a really good game plan, executed it well. And Stewart had not hit a home run in the postseason until that swing. She looks like she is right back to being Katie Stewart. That's the player with window breaking power. There's the other home run hitter in the inning, Scott.
Ball.
I mean, the crushing part of this is that all 4 of these runs have come with 2 outs. I mean, that hurts when you're trying to get back into the game, and Ava Brown put up a couple of zeros in the 2nd and the 3rd against them.
To third, that ball drilled off of Kowalewski, who didn't even make an effort to go for it. An absolute rocket off the bat of Washington for a base hit. 77 miles per hour off the bat there, and Kowalewski is understandably shaken up.
Kowalewski, a freshman, is actually really a catcher. They put her over at 3rd base. They were in need of that position, but tries to get her glove there, but that was just hit so hard toward the right side of her body, and hope that she's okay. Texas hitting the ball very hard with 2 outs in this inning.
It was 2 out, nobody on, too. Maloney grounded out, Dayton lined out, and now 5 consecutive 2-out hits. Another home run ball headed to the Stewart clan.
I love that part.
And Florida's going to make another pitching change. It was all good just a few batters ago for the Gators. Ava Brown in this inning. Katie Stewart and Mia Scott and this quintet of Longhorns have made it a painful 4th inning. So Mackenzie Wooten will come in for just her 11th appearance of the season to try to stem the Texas tide.
Mackenzie Wooten will step in and try to keep this score exactly where it's at. I mean, 9-0 with Texas just scoring in a couple of big innings.
Well, we have a minute. Want to tell you about tomorrow's Sunday night baseball series finale. The St. Louis Cardinals are in Philadelphia to take on the red-hot Phillies. 7 Eastern, 6 Central. ESPN, ESPN Deportes, and ESPN Radio. Coverage begins 1 hour early, 6 Eastern, with baseball tonight's Sunday night countdown. The Phils 40-18. That's the best record in baseball by a half game over the Yankees and 2 games over the Orioles. Texas looks a long way from the team that lost game 1 at home to A&M, trailed in games 2 and games 3 to A&M early, barely made it out of that super regional alive, which in part tells you what a great season Texas A&M had. Best 16 seed we've seen in a long time.
Outside.
And here's Jordan Whitaker, who grabs a bat to pinch hit for Texas. Senior who was a bigger part of the Longhorns roster in years past. Only her 15th at-bat of the year. But great to see a senior get a moment on the World Series stage.
Yeah, she's a leader on this team and has really thrived in her role. And as much as we talk about the freshmen and sophomores on this team and their youth, the senior class plays a big part, even the role players. But you were bringing up the Super Regional and how tough and emotional of a weekend that was for Texas. I think that they're going to look back and think about how powerful that weekend was, that they got through it, that they proved to themselves that they can play in a tough 3-game series like that. I think that Super Regional, those games, made this team better.
They certainly thought so, and Mike White felt like the team's attitude was great when they got here after getting Monday off. Whitaker, right field side and foul.
Because they have this really cool blend on their team with players who have experienced making a run to the Champ Series back in 2022, and then with some youth that haven't been here before, with sophomores and freshmen that are a big part of their team. And such great recruiting classes the last couple of years, getting to play on this stage for the first time. But you have that mix of seniors and leadership and experience that is very helpful for a young team.
Jordan Whitaker is one of those 7 players that was on the 2022 roster. She was part of the Big 12 all-freshman team in 21. She had .358, had a .494 on base percentage. That's the level of depth Texas has. Player who was an all-freshman selection in the Big 12. Hard time getting off the bench. Whitaker's putting together a nice at-bat. Scott with the first of 2 home runs in the inning. 2 of the 3 in the game for Texas. The Longhorns' 4th multi-home run game in the last 6. This will be the 9th pitch from the senior Mackenzie Wooten. Ball, and it is low. Great plate appearance by Whitaker. A pinch hit walk. The last 6 Longhorns have reached after there were 2 out and nobody on, and Whitaker will leave as Mitchell re-enters to run.
Re-entering into the lineup and running at first base for the nine for Texas.
The heroes welcome for Whitaker, the senior, who works a walk back on the World Series stage, and now another pinch hitter, Katie Simmons.
Strike.
This inning reminds me quite a bit of in this game of the Oklahoma teams we've seen the last 3 years, where the lineup is just relentless 1 through 9. And we showed you in the open, every starter in the game hitting at least 340, every starter in the game and on base of at least 419. I mean, that's been Oklahoma, and really nobody else has that level of 1 through 9 depth, at least not the last few years in the country.
I mean, and Texas has been hitting the ball like this all year long. This has been their MO, being able to score a lot of runs, averaging 8 runs per game. So they're over their average with that 9 spot through just 4 innings.
Simmons toward the middle, a base hit off the bench for Katie Simmons. And Texas gets into double digits in the 4th. Washington is home and Mitchell a third on a pinch hit RBI single for Katie Simmons. Her first hit since April 21st.
Everybody getting in on the action for Texas. Simmons lets that pitch get deep, sends it right back up the middle of the field. Texas is just crushing the ball and scoring now 10 runs on 10 hits. Everybody feeling good and free in that dugout.
Tim Walton will re-emerge from the dugout. A lonely walk. He's made more than he'd like to tonight, and he'll make another pitching change. Olivia Miller, the 4th and final pitcher to have thrown for Florida this year, will take over in the circle. Hall of Fame Stadium, now OGE Field at Devon Park.
Ball.
In Oklahoma City, the USA Softball Complex, which is the place to be if you're a softball fan, and particularly the place to be if you're from Austin. Olivia Miller is the 4th Gator pitcher of the night and not yet 4 full innings. She'll face a pinch hitter, Vanessa Quiroga. And Quiroga hits a ground ball to Gels at first, and that'll do it. Texas gets 7 straight base runners with 2 out, nobody on. By the way, they're 3 outs away from a no-hitter. For the junior from Creighton, Missouri, in her World Series debut. Florida needs 3 runs to keep the game alive. The Gators have hit a couple of balls right on the screws, but they only have 1 run now in 10 innings at the World Series. The 1 run driven in by Katie Kistler right here.
That's low.
And Florida right now is staring down a matchup with Alabama tomorrow. So a struggling offense. Going to see probably Kayla Beaver, maybe Jocelyn Brisky in there. 2 terrific Alabama pitchers.
Low.
Again, there have been some hard hit balls for the Gators today. But there hasn't been consistency in the lineup, and they're going to need to figure that out overnight. Strike 1 to Kistler.
And just scored the 1 run since they've been here. That was off the bat of Katie Kistler, the home run that she hit off of Lexi Kilfoyle.
Kistler right side. That ball eats up the second baseman Washington, and I'm going to say first hit of the game.
I'm going to say first hit too. That's a hard hit ball at 73 miles an hour off the bat. Tough to handle if you're Alyssa Washington. Big hop too. That ball hit the ground and just rose up after it hit the ground. Kind of felt like it gained momentum off that hop.
Still waiting on an official ruling here. It's a base hit, and that'll end the brief no-hit bid.
I mean, Mack just looks so good in the postseason. Remember, she threw that no-hitter against Siena to open up regional play in Austin a couple of weeks ago.
Would have been her 3rd no-hitter of the year. It is not to be.
Ball.
Emily Wilkie, the pinch hitter here for Kowalewski. Now Texas is going to have a really interesting decision on its hands unless something absolutely bananas happens here.
Ball.
It should be if you win the game, which they're well on their way to doing. Now Patty Ruth Taylor is going to come to the circle. Who do you start Monday knowing that you have margin for error? you can lose a game and then still win game 2 and make it to the Champ Series. Would it be time to give Tegan Cavan the ball again? Would it be time to give Citlali Gutierrez her first outing at the World Series? Monday night, unless something again totally crazy happens, Texas will have that opportunity. It would be against the winner of UCLA and Stanford. Florida and Alabama look likely to be the matchup tomorrow, so we are on track for an all SEC game and then an all Pac-12 game tomorrow.
Strike.
It really has been so hard to guess who Coach White is going to start, and on any given day, who is going to be the one that he writes in as the starting pitcher. I mean, you just have so many different options. I liked your idea of potentially bringing in Citlali Gutierrez here with a 10-run lead and giving her some World Series experience for the first time. Hadn't seen her in a while after that shaky start in Game 1 of the Super Regional against Texas A&M. Tegan Cavan threw well. Have a still check.
That ball to shortstop. A hard one to Martinez, hit hard enough to be a double play. 6-4-3 started smoothly by Vivi.
Another well-struck ball off the bat of the Florida Gators. 75 miles an hour from Kowalewski. Got on Vivi Martinez quick. Look at the bare hand from Alyssa Washington, who braced herself, got a good grip as she grabbed that ball, that toss from Martinez in the air with her bare hand, then made the throw. Nice play by Texas.
One out to get another pinch hitter. Bailey Goddard steps in. Some smooth sizzle and style at the plate and the field for Texas today.
Strike.
They have looked every bit the part of the #1 seed, their first #1 seed, and their 7th World Series appearance.
They're going to be sleeping really good tonight with the way that they've played and knowing that they have a little bit of time off. Sometimes, though, when you're playing really well, you just want to get back out and play again instead of having those days off.
Ground ball to third. Mia Scott, who's homered in the game, will get the final out at first, and the top-seeded Texas Longhorns roll into the semifinals with a 10-run demolition of Florida. It's been 21 years since Texas first started 2-0 at the World Series, and the Longhorns, with 2 wins, have allowed just 2 hits in their first 2 games.